Hello everyone, welcome back to Nanashir Academy. Today we are going to learn a poem, An Elementary School Classroom in Islam by Stephen Spender. Stephen Spender was an English poet and novelist. His work concentrated on the theme of social injustice and class struggle. An Elementary School Classroom in Islam was published in 1964. The poem echoes the poet's political views and brings forth the difficulties faced by the kids in slums. This poem was written to highlight the social injustice prevailing at that time in the world. The first stanza of the poem is far, far from gusty waves, the children face like ruthless weed, the hair torn around their pala, the tall girl with her way down head, the paper seeming boy with red eyes, the stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bonds reciting a faternal disease, his lesson from his desk at back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel game in tree room. Other than this, first we take difficult word from this stanza. Gusty waves means breezy wind. Weeds means unwanted plants that grow on their own. Pala means pale or dull face. Paper seeming wire means very thin wire, as thin as a sheet of paper. A means successor. Stunted means not fully grown due to malnutrition. Gnarled means knotted or rough. Now, explanation of the stanza. In the first stanza, Stephen Spender describes the miserable condition of the children. The face of the children are unlike the normal children of school. Instead of being cheerful and energetic, they are like ruthless weed, withered and worn out. They are unclean and untidy, as they are malnourished, sick, and hungry. Just as weeds are not wanted in the garden, so the children of the slum are unwanted in the society. They have pale face, their hair is uncombed. A tall, slim girl has her head bowed down as though she is fatigued physically and emotionally because of malnutrition and poverty. The other students of the class are also in the same situation. There is a boy who is as thin as a paper, again because of malnutrition and lack of civic amenities. He has eyes like that of a rat searching for food and betterment. Another child in the class, who is a victim of genetic disorder, has noted bone and stunted growth. He has inherited his unbearable disease from his father and recite his lesson from his desk in a mellow and weak voice. In one corner of this dark and badly equipped class is a sweet, unnoticed young child lost in the world of his dreams. The dull and monotonous classroom does not attract him, and hence his mind deviates toward the squirrel in her tree room. He too dreams of fun and play in an open space. Now, question based on first stanza are: what are the children compared to? The answer to this question is: the children have pale face and torn and scattered hair all over their face like ruthless weed. A thin boy is compared to a paper. Second question is: why do you think that the tall girl is sitting with a way down head? Answer to this question is: the tall girl is sitting with a way down head because she is depressed of being poor. She also feels humiliated and uncomfortable because of the lack of education. Next question is: give two phrases which tell us that children are undernourished. The answer to this question is rootless feet and second is red eyes. Next question: name the poetic device used in the second line. The answer to this question is simile. Now, second set of questions. First one: who is the unlucky here and what has he inherited? The answer to this question is the stunted boy with twisted bones sitting in the slum classroom is the unlucky here. He has inherited the deformity of Nall disease. Next question is: what is the stunted boy reciting? The answer to this question is the stunted boy has inherited the disease and despair of his parents and has become a carrier of his father's disease and poverty. He is reciting his lesson in the class from his desk. Now, next question is: who is sitting at the back of the dim class? Now, answer to this question is one unnoted sweet and young dreamer who dreams about a squirrel game is sitting at the back of the dim class. He is dreaming of his future. Next question is: what is the tree room? The answer to this question is it is the squirrel nest or hole from which the squirrel is moving in and out. Second stanza of the poem is on sour cream walls, donation Shakespeare had, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities, belled, flowery, perilous valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world, and yet for these children these windows, not this map, their world, where all their future painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lit sky, far, far from rivers, caps, and stars of worlds. Now, difficult words first. Sour means unpleasant. Here refer to the color of the sour cream means off-white. Donation means things given or received in charity. Dawn means early morning or sunrise. Civilized dawn means rising sun at the horizon which is in the shape of dome or semicircle. Perilous Valley means a beautiful ice-free valley in Austria. Sealed means shut or locked. Lit means dark future of kids. Caps means a large piece of land that sticks out into the sea from the coast. Now, explanation of the stanza. In the second stanza, the poet describes the dirty classroom. The walls are displayed the name of people who have given donations. The bust of Shakespeare is displayed in the clear background of the sky. Walls have pictures of the beautiful perilous valleys as well as a map of the world. The children's eyes can only view a narrow road enclosed with a dull sky. It is quite a dull or depressing place for children. Now, question based on second stanza. First one. Which walls have been referred in this line? The answer to this question is they are the walls of a classroom in an elementary school in Islam. Next, what is the condition of walls referred in this line? Answer to this question is the walls are damp, unpleasant, and dirty. They have not been painted freshly and is peeling off the surface. Next question is what donation are there on the walls? Answer to this question is on this wall many donated items have been put up that represent different world. A bust of Shakespeare and domes of huge building in the cities. There is also a reflection of early morning cloudless sky on the wall. There is a beautiful picture of the valley of Terrilis and the world map. Next question is explain awarding the world its world. Answer to this question is the rich people who have drawn this map have depicted these places that are unreachable for these children. They are giving the world its world, which, however, does not belong to them. Next set of question is first one. Who are these children? What do these windows refer to? Answer to this question is these children are the poor children living in Islam. These windows are the windows of the classroom where the children are now sitting. Next question is what has been said to be the world for these children? The answer to this question is the narrow street under the dull sky has been said to be their world. Their fate is sealed by the windows in the classroom and does not go beyond as the map suggests. What has been said about their future? Answer to this question is their future is painted with fog. It means that poor children have no bright hopes about their future. There is no one to guide them. Their future is not clear and is sealed by the darkness of the sky that is above the narrow street they live in. Next question is explain the importance of the last line. Answer to this question is these children have no access to the beauties of nature. They cannot see the rivers or the caps or the stars of words. The highly literate people of the world will never be known to them. Now, third stanza of the poem is surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with sheep and sun and love tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turn in their cramped hall, from fog to endless night, on their slag heap, the children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle beads on stones. All of their time and space are for Islam. So blot their map with slum as big as tomb. Difficult words. Wicked means evil, tempted means persuade, slyly means strictly, cramped means confined, slag means weak, mended means repaired, blot means to mark with a spot, doom means disaster. Now, explanation of the stanza. In the third stanza, the thoughtful poet suddenly turns aggressive and feels that Shakespeare is wicked. This is because he misled the children. He shows them a beautiful world of sheep, sun, and love, which is not only unreal for them but has a corrupting influence on these children and prompts them to steal and try to escape from their cramped holes. Their existence is indeed very sad. These emaciated children are so thin that it appears that they are wearing only skin. The spectacles they are wearing have glass which has been broken and mended. Their entire appearance reeks of their deprivation. The poet shows his outrage by suggesting that the map on their walls should show huge slum instead of beautiful scenic graphic. Now, question based on third stanza. First one: why is Shakespeare described as wicked? The answer to this question is: Shakespeare is epitome of highly literary excellence, but in the slum schools where hardly any learning takes place and the children are troubled by disease and despair, literary training is a far cry. That is why Shakespeare has been described as wicked. Next question is: explain from fog to endless night. Answer to this question is: the expression describes the miserable and pathetic lives of the slum children from foggy morning till late night. These children make a desperate attempt to live their life, sustaining it despite all odds. Their lives is full of misery, hopelessness, and suffering. Next question is: what does the reference of slag heap means? Answer to this question is: the poet is comparing the extremely starved and malnourished body to the large pile of waste metal remains. When they sit within their classroom, they appear to be the heap of untidy piles of bones or like a slag heap. Next question is: how do the slum children look like? Answer to this question is: slum children look like skeletons wearing broken glasses as spectacles. Next set of questions. First one: which two images are used to describe this slum? Answer to this question is: the two images used to describe slums are foggy slums and second is slums as big as dome. Next question is: what sort of life do these children lead? Answer to this question is: these children lead miserable lives. They are physically weak. Next question: which figure of speech is used in the last line? Answer to this question is: in the last line, simile is used as the figure of speech. Next question: what request does the poet make here? Answer to this question is: the poet wants the maps to mention clearly the slums that they live in. Now, last stanza of the poem is: unless governors, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break open till they break the town, and show the children to green field and make their world run aja on gold sands and let their tongue run naked into book the white and green leaves open, history there whose language is the sun. Difficult words are: catacomb means tomb or cemetery, aja means deep blue. Now, explanation of the stanza. Finally, in the last stanza, the poet reveals the terrible truth that there can be no change for the better unless a governor, a school inspector, or a visitor comes to the school. The map in their classroom is the only medium for the children to view the world outside their slum. The windows of their classroom shut them and confine them to their world of poverty and helplessness. Next poet appeals to those people who are in power to liberate the slum children from the painful life they are leading. He also urges the people themselves to break open this window which appear to have sealed the fate of these children. He would like to see these children bask in the education facilities in this world and run carefree on the golden sands and enjoy a new lease of life and freedom. The poet earnestly desired that each and every child should be able to enjoy the fundamental right to freedom. They should have access to all kind of books, new as well as old. They should also be able to learn more from nature around them. Now, question from the stanza. What is meant by this map? Answer to this question is, it is a map of the world which is hung on the wall in the classroom. Next question. What are these windows which the poet talks of? Answer to this question is, they are the classroom windows from where the children could see only a narrow street and a dull sky. Next question. What has been referred to as catacombs? Answer to this question is, the little narrow homes of the slum dwellers are referred to as catacombs. They lead a life that is shut inside the slum. Next question. Why is there a mention of three categories of people? Answer to this question is, the three categories of people are the one who can improve the condition of the slum. The next set of question is, first one, to whom does they refer? The answer to this question is, they refer to the children sitting in the classroom of an elementary school in Islam. Next question, what would they break? Answer to this question is, the poet hopes that one day they would break free from the chain of the slum. They will rise above all the deprivations and create a beautiful world for themselves. Next question, what other freedom should they enjoy? The answer to this question is, they should enjoy equal right as citizens and get education entitled to them. They should have a bright future like all others. Next question, explain the last line of the extract. Answer to this question is, the poet feels that history will be changed if the people are educated, and according to him, history is created by those who have the warmth and exposure to the sun and the brightness of the wide world. Now, summary of the poem. In this poem, Stephen Spender describes the situation of the student of an elementary school located in Islam area. The poet explains the tragic condition of the children. They are malnourished and sick. The poet compares them with ruthless feed. It seems as their physical and mental growth had stopped. They have no exposure to the real world. These children are dirty, hungry, weak, and thin. They are bony and carry the legacy of poverty and disease. They are living in an environment of total hopelessness. They are given a glance of the outside world through the pictures hanging on their classroom walls. This seems to be totally meaningless to them. The picture of Shakespeare Terrace Valley building, domes, world map, etc. has no meaning for these slum children. The map on the dirty and muddy wall proclaims that world is vast and limitless. For these students, the world is not as they see in the picture, but it is that they see outside of the classroom through the window. These children are stuck in the slum. They have dim and hopeless future. They are far from the light of knowledge. In the last stanza, the poet urges the stakeholder, inspectors, governors, and visitors to realize their moral responsibility to these children. They must do something to pull out them from the mud of poverty and ensure them equal rights and opportunities. They should get education and become a part of the real world. They should be entitled to social justice. Now, theme of the poem. In an elementary school classroom in Islam, Spender beautifully brings out the theme of social injustice and class inequalities. Poverty is also another theme of the poem. The poet creates an image of children in poverty. It is poverty that has caused the children to be weighed down, diseased, and twisted. The poet believes that poverty is created through the oppressive power of capitalism. In this poem, Spender demands equal opportunity for education for the poor and deprived. Now, question answer with music.